thank you for coming. We appreciate you being here. It just means an awful lot for you to be here and to give us an opportunity to honor you. So we'll call our meeting to order, and we'll ask for an invocation from Councilmember Millsap and a pledge by Councilmember Ellingson.
Our dear Father in heaven, we are glad to be gathered here together as a city council and as department heads and residents of the city. We're very grateful for the beautiful place we live in. We're grateful for the heritage that we have here, for all of the sacrifices made by people who came before us to create this wonderful place we call home. We ask that you bless our efforts here tonight and also bless the efforts, especially of our youth. Empower them as they go through life to achieve their dreams and to make this world an even better place than we found it. And this we pray in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Please rise and do the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, I need a motion to approve this meeting's agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the meeting's agenda as written.
I'll second.
Okay, those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed? Well, again, we appreciate you coming. This means an awful lot to us to have you here and to give us that opportunity to be able to honor you. And so we'll, let me first of all say, you're welcome to make comments to the city council after the ceremony that John will do. And if you have an interest in making a statement to the city council, you're welcome to fill a paper out that's in the foyer. Just bring it up and give it to Kim. And you're welcome to make any statement that you want. Only swear 2 or 3 times and we're good, okay? So I'm just kidding. Okay, John, I'll turn the time over to you.
Thank you, Mayor and council members. I am excited tonight. We have some wonderful athletes in the room, some state champions both in basketball, wrestling, and swimming. And so this is a great night. We've had a lot of youth put in a lot of hard work to achieve a lot of great things. I'd like to start just to let you know what this award is. And just to review, I know the council knows what this award is. But this is what we're handing out tonight is what's called the Art City Spirit Award. And it recognizes both our past achievements, some wonderful things that have happened here in Springville, but also achievements of today and some great things that are happened to bring in just some wonderful inspiration into our city. Here I got something before you, and yes, this guy does look like he's a little bit old here in the upper left, and that's because he was born, I think, in the 1800s. And so his name is Cyrus Dallin. And what he did in 1903, along with John Hafen, is they gave the high school 2 pieces of artwork. Both of these guys grew up here in Springville, and they gave 2 pieces of artwork. Cyrus Dallin gave this artwork, this model right here, to the high school kids, and it is a famous statue in Boston. This is the Old North Church in Boston. This is the Paul Revere statue. And what I have here is a water bottle that has Paul Revere on it. Mm. So we got that right there. The next thing that I have is to show you is this picture right here. What John Hafen gave is what's called Mountain Spring. And he gave this to the high school, and from those 2 gifts and those 2 talented people, we have become the Art City today. It started the Art Museum, it started the Spring Salon, just by the very gifts of 2 talents. And tonight, we're here to honor many others that have given their gifts that have inspired us. Some of them I know personally, and I wasn't going to get emotional. I just love 2 of these athletes that I've known for a long time, and the rest truly inspire me as I've read about them and got to know them just briefly. But Though this award's a reminder that when you develop your gifts and use them to inspire others, you leave a lasting impact. Because of the efforts of those athletes here in the audience today, Springville is even a better and more inspiring place. And so I'd like to start first to say congratulations to everybody that's going to receive this award, but I'd like to start with the unified basketball team. Now, this basketball team is the first team in Springville to win state in the Unified Basketball League, and it's amazing. State championships were held at the Delta Center, so they got to play right there with the Jazz, where the Jazz plays, not with the Jazz, but where the Jazz plays. And the league had 32 teams, and so out of 32 teams, they were the best team. And so it's pretty amazing to see what they've done. Jenny McCullough is the coach of the team. She started the unified programs at the high school and has done just a tremendous job. My daughter has been part of this program and has just thoroughly loved it. I would like to invite her up here so she can just say a few things, if she would.
Hi, I'm Jenny McCullough, and I represent Unified Sports through Special Olympics at Springville High School. We started the program last year with just a handful of students and all volunteer technicians from the Springville High School special education class, who a few of them are here behind me. And we had a couple of soccer teams. We didn't really know what we were doing. And then we played basketball, and that was really fun. And now our soccer team went to state this year, and our basketball team, we're state champions, and we currently are in football season, and we have a flag football tournament next week. And I think one of the really unique, wonderful things about Springville is that we have more students in our school that want to be involved, because every team it's half special education students and half general education students. And so this program is peer-led by students. And we had over 65 students competing during basketball and soccer season, and we do whole school inclusion activities, and we were recognized by ESPN as a banner champion school through the United States. And it's just amazing to see the support that we have in Springville for such a wonderful program, and hopefully that we are laying the foundation with all of this wonderful community support to continue this program in our school. So thank you so much for recognizing our athletes.
Thank you, Jenny. Here, and I'd like to call up the athletes now. We'll give them a picture, and we also will give them a water bottle, and then if we could have the mayor come down and get some pictures with them.
You bet.
So the first one, Zach Parker. Come on up. Karsten Nilsson. Come on up.
My neighbor.
Lincoln Staton. Is he here? Yes. He's not? Okay. Bradley Miller. Okay. And I'm going to get this last name wrong, and I apologize, but Kaid Naranjo?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay. Okay. Cameron Pickett. Oh. This here is, I've actually coached this kid in volleyball. This is Ethan Snar. He's one of the greatest kids I know, so.
I used to teach Ethan when he was a 4-year-old.
And then Wesley Robinson. And then the last one we have is Rocco Scott. Very good. If you guys want to come over here, do you mind getting a picture with them?
Do you want the coach to come up?
Oh, yeah, Jenny, come on up. I apologize.
So cool.
Right in between people.
Yeah.
Yep.
Parents first. Parents are always first. All parents, any more parents?
So our next state champion is Heather Weekly, and she is a state champion in wrestling. She is the third girl from my count to win the state championship from Springville, so she is in an elite class. And she started out as a sophomore, securing 6th place at state. She stayed with it, and this year she won the championship, and in her final match, she pinned the other wrestler from West High in 2 minutes, 29 seconds.
Nice.
And so I'd like to have her coach come up here, Coach Harris, if she would, and just tell us a little bit about how wonderful Heather is, and then we'll present the award to Heather.
Hello, my name is Coach Carolee Harris. I am the first women's coach for Springville Girls Wrestling. Super happy to coach this program. We have an excellent group of girls, one of them being Heather. A little bit about the program. This year we were able to go to divisionals with 9 wrestlers, and we took all 9 wrestlers to state, and that's very impressive because we went up against a lot of other teams that had about 25 or so more girls, and we ended up placing 3rd out of all those teams. Super proud of those girls, and Heather is one of our captains of this wrestling team. She is an amazing captain and someone who's able to lead our girls and also represent what a true Red Devil means, also representing what Springville means as well. She is someone who's always going to come to practice, give me her best effort. I give any advice or anything like that, I coach her, and it's always, yes, coach. And I love athletes who are coachable and who are always willing to help the other girls as well and represent our school, and that's definitely who Heather is. So.
Very good.
So Heather, come on up. Could we get one of you to come down and get a picture in here?
Yeah.
Very good. Congratulations. That's just amazing.
There was one more.
Yeah, Coach Harris, this is your first year, isn't it? To have a state championship or state champion your first year, that's pretty impressive. Nice job.
So I wrestled in high school, and I only have one question for her. Did you bite?
Oh, yeah. Well, from what I found, she had over 31 wins this year, so
Isn't that
that's
great?
pretty impressive.
Wonderful.
Very impressive. Our last athlete is a swimmer, and she didn't just swim, she just blew the competition away. So Al-Leah, who is only a sophomore, she won the 200 freestyle with a time of 1 minute 54 seconds. That is cruising. And then she also won the 100 backstroke with a time of 55 seconds, 55.84 seconds. And both those, she set the school record. So she's a sophomore. She still has 2 more years. She just told me that colleges can't start talking to her, I think, until this June. But it's going to be fun to see her just cruise through a career of swimming. So, Al-Leah, if you could come up, that'd be great.
Good job.
Thanks again for inspiring all of us. That's pretty amazing, all the things they've done. So thanks.
Yeah, and as you get a little older, you realize how significant high school is in your life. It's just monumental how memories and opportunities come your way in high school. And certainly there's opportunities to change if there's issues or challenges or problems, but high school is very foundational to who you are and who you become. I mean, we banter back and forth, but Mike Stelston and I
knew you
we-
were going to do
we
this.
went we went to high school together, and those are memories that you'll never forget. And I just encourage you to make the most of it and to make it memorable, because it will be a monument to you and a pattern for the rest of your life. So I just really compliment you on what you've done, and we look forward to seeing you next year, those of you that are not seniors. So thank you for all your effort and your example to our city.
And you might even get to banter with the mayor later.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Well, he stole my girlfriend, so I'll just leave it at that. All right, there you go. Okay, we appreciate that. We'll enter the regular part of our meeting, going to the consent agenda. So, oh yes. Anybody for a public comment? Okay, thank you. Appreciate that. Let's enter the consent agenda. We have items number 2 and number 3.
I'll motion to approve the consent agenda as written.
Okay, it's, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed. Okay, Bruce, you're on for a public hearing on a resolution regarding the amendment to the Springville City budget.
Thank you, Mayor. I think I've said it before. I will say it again. Nothing quite clears a room like a budget amendment. So we do from time to time have a need to amend the budget that's been adopted for the fiscal year, and that's the case tonight. We're just a couple months away from the end of the current fiscal year. It ends June 30th, and we've had a number of items that have come up over the last couple of months that require some attention and some formal action by the council in order to appropriate funds so that they're spendable by the city. There are quite a few items on this. You had a staff report that's in your packet, and then we also, just for the benefit of the public that's either here tonight or maybe watching online, we did discuss this in the study session earlier. So the council's been briefed on a number of these items already and had an opportunity to ask questions. But I will go through these line by line. There are quite a few of them, so I'll try to consolidate and go through as quickly as possible. So just starting there from the top, in the general fund, in the planning and zoning department, the proposal is to amend the budget in the professional services line by $75,000. We've had a contract plans inspector that we've been utilizing while development has been relatively slow the last couple of years, but things have picked up a little bit this year, and so we've expended more than what was originally anticipated in the budget. There are revenues coming in from those plan inspection fees that are offsetting those costs. This is really just appropriating those excess revenue dollars into the expense line so that we can pay the contractor that's been doing those services. The next 3 lines are in the museum. They've had store sales and a couple of other revenue lines that have come in higher than originally budgeted, so they're proposing to appropriate a little over $40,000, $45,000 to buy additional inventory for the store that's been outperforming what we'd originally expected. They'd also like to appropriate some of those revenue dollars into professional service and part-time payroll line items in the museum. In the recreation department, you may have noticed out on the north side of the Civic Center, there's been a sidewalk that was put in place out there, and part of the plan for funding that was to transfer $3,000 from the community events line item to help offset the cost of that. It really is benefiting the community events. So this amendment reduces the budget by $3,000 in the general fund and then puts that into a transfer line, which is just 2 lines down there on your screen, to move over into the capital improvement fund to offset the cost for that project. We explained earlier that we created in this year's budget a new streets fund, and so there's a lot of cleanup items that are really just accounting adjustments to accommodate the new creation of that streets fund. One of those is C road dollars that have been held in restricted reserves in the general fund that can only be used for street projects. So this transfers out the balance of those restricted C road fund dollars, a little over $2 million from the general fund to the streets fund, where they will be spent for future projects. In the streets fund, moving out of the general fund into the streets fund, the streets department received a safety grant from UDOT. I can't remember if it was the end of last budget year or the beginning of this budget year, of $100,000 to do some initial design work for safety improvements on the intersection at 4th West and Center Street, right where the railroad crossing is. That design work is now done. We can use what's left over from that $100,000 safety grant, but we need to supplement it with another $500,000 from street reserves to actually go construct those improvements. But you should see some significant improvements and realignment and cleaning up of a pretty messy intersection here, there on that busy corner.
So Bruce, are those reimbursable funds, or does that come out of our budget ourselves?
The grant we received was
Right.
for $100,000, and these aren't matching funds. This is just, we got a little bit of a jump start on what would have been a project we would have had to do anyway. So instead of us paying $600,000, we're only paying $500,000 because we got the $100,000 grant. It's not a full grant.
Okay, thanks.
Also in the streets department, and this is a big number, but Mayor, you're probably aware of this, but through Mountain Land Association of Governments, the funding's been made available for the 2600 West road construction from 4th North all the way up to 1400 North. This will be a multi-year project, and it's a sizable project. But we're starting that project in the current budget year. It'll take several budget years for it to actually be seen through to completion, but we're going to go ahead and recognize the budget authority. This is all 100% reimbursable from MAG funding. So this is $11 million we're appropriating in the streets fund that will all be reimbursed through MAG grant dollars. We discussed this next item in the study session. This is dollars that the city as the developer can, as part of the subdividing of properties adjacent to the Santana property, which the city has sold. Part of that development agreement or that sales agreement included us making certain infrastructure improvements. The streets portion of that was $465,000. So this, we're using proceeds from the sale of that property, transferring it into the streets fund, and then using those dollars to reimburse the developer that has bought the property and constructed the improvements. Now moving on to the capital improvement fund and the CIP fund, we've had some sinking funds there. These are dollars that are allocated to departments for capital improvements through the budgeting process, and in many cases they save that up over the course of a couple of years until they have enough money to do a specific project. So all we're really doing here is reducing the sinking fund balance by $27,557 and moving it into a specific capital project to put permanent fencing over at the Memorial Park around the ball fields there. The next couple items, the next several items are transfers, which we discussed in the previous meeting. The next specific one was there were capital improvement fund restricted C road dollars that have been held in the CIP fund with the creation of the new streets fund. We're now just sweeping those dollars out of the CIP fund, transferring them into the streets fund to be used for various projects that are budgeted there. We explained in the previous meeting that over the course of a couple budget years, we temporarily loaned some dollars from the general fund to the CIP fund for various property purchases that were all related to the Santana purchase and sale. And this amendment replenishes $2.5 million that was loaned on a short-term basis from the general fund to the general CIP fund. Related to the streets new development reimbursement that we talked about, just higher up on this same slide would be a portion of the proceeds of the sale of Santana property to the water fund for their share of infrastructure improvements around the Santana property. That's $188,000. Related to that, these are all the exact same transaction basically, but sewer share of those improvements was $105,000, electric was $28,000, and stormwater was $90,000. So those are all infrastructure improvements on the Santana property with transfers from the CIP. This one's really kind of double counting a little bit. We already talked about the $465,000. Just as a matter of procedure, we need to budget the $465,000 in the streets fund, but we also need to budget for the transfer of the money from the CIP fund. So it's the same dollars, it's just two different budget entries in terms of the amendment is what that 465 transfer from the CIP fund to the streets fund is. The next one is special revenue fund. This is where we hold the city's impact fee dollars, and we had a balance of about $734,000 that was projects that were budgeted originally in the CIP fund rather than in the special revenue fund where they probably should have originally been budgeted. So they were paid for with general fund dollars, but they really are impact fee dollars. So this is just repaying the general fund's cash flow of those projects with impact fee dollars. And then the next one is $3.2 million in street impact fee dollars that were sitting in the CIP or the special revenue fund, transferring those dollars out to the streets fund for impact fee projects that will be upcoming. We had an existing budget line, line item for a replacement vehicle for sewer collections. They went out to bid, and the bids came back a little bit higher than what was budgeted, so this amendment will appropriate an additional $15,000 from the sewer collections reserves into their budget line item to be able to accomplish that purchase. And these we've really already talked about. Again, the same thing. We've got to kind of make a double entry on the budget on the transfer out from the CIP fund into the fund where it's expended, and then also appropriate dollars in the line items. So those next four line items for water, sewer, electric, and storm drain are all the actual reimbursement amounts that they'll pay to the contractor for those infrastructure improvements that were made at Santana. And then the last one is actually a $2,000 transfer from the golf fund back to the special revenue fund. The special revenue fund is also where we hold the PAR dollars. The PAR board had granted the golf fund an amount, I don't remember what it was, I think around $30,000 for a PAR-funded improvement at the driving range at the golf course last budget year. They've now finished that project, and there was $2,000 left over, so we're just returning those PAR dollars back to the PAR fund where they remain restricted and can only be used for PAR-related expenditures. That was a lot, and I apologize that it was so long. If you've got any questions, I'm happy to field those, or maybe directors would have better answers than me, but that's the proposed amendment. You do need to hold a public hearing on this, so give the public an opportunity to comment on it. But if you've got questions before that, I'm happy to field those.
Bruce, for the benefit of the public, can you address what we sold the Santana property for? There were a lot of things on here dealing with the Santana property. Can you address what we sold that for and what's left in that?
Sure.
What's left in the balance there?
I don't have the exact number, but it was right in the neighborhood of $10 million. So the $10 million came in cash into the capital improvement fund, and then as we mentioned, we had to pay about $1 million out to the various utility funds for the infrastructure improvements that were installed there. We repaid the general fund that had loaned temporarily $2.5 million. And then there was about $1.5 million, $1.6 million in the CIP fund of projects that hadn't been built yet, but the cash was there for them that had temporarily loaned those dollars as we did the various property transactions to put together the parcel that we were then able to go sell for $10 million. Once all those true-ups have been made and everyone's been repaid, there's just under $6 million in cash remaining in the CIP fund that's a result of the sale of the property.
Thank you.
Yeah, and maybe for those who are the public, is that the budget is a item, it's a public document, and it's an opportunity for the public to comment on it, and it takes months and months to put together, and once it's approved, if there's any changes to the budget that's been approved, that's what Bruce is doing tonight, is that that's again brought to the public so that they can see what happens. Sometimes you think that, okay, they can move $1,000 over from this and do that and move things all around, even though they've approved it, and the answer is no, we can't, because that would not be in full disclosure to the public. So what happens like tonight, although this is quite unusual because of so many, usually we have, 5 or 6 smaller items. But it's just a document that is a public document, and the public needs to know what the money's being spent for. So anyway, I think that's important for the public to understand that. So thank you, Bruce.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll open this up for a public comment time. And anybody from the public can mention or talk about this and give us your opinion on these changes. So is there anyone from the public?
Seeing as there's no one from the public that wants to comment on this, I'll make a motion to close the hearing.
I will second that.
Okay,
You're too fast.
Who got it?
we got a second and a third.
You got it anyway.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed. Okay, I'm open for a motion on the approval, so.
I move to approve resolution number 2026-11 to open and amend the general fund, streets fund, capital improvement fund, special revenue fund, vehicle and equipment replacement fund, water fund, sewer fund, electric fund, storm drain fund, and golf fund for operating and capital expenses applying to fiscal year ending June 30th, 2026, as outlined in Exhibit A.
I will second that.
Okay, it's a roll call vote. Logan?
Yes.
Karen? Mindy?
Yes.
Jake?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Very good. Thank you, Bruce. We appreciate it. And by the way, Bruce is an excellent budget person. I would hate to be your child. You would probably make me really nervous. For kids, it would say the same thing. I'm sorry.
You're a banker. I thought you liked numbers.
Well, yeah, I do. Actually, Bruce and I get along really well. Okay, Emily?
Well, I am here to talk about something really fun, maybe more fun than the budget.
Maybe.
But the budget's quite fun. The only way we can do fun things is if we have the
Is if
budget
we have the
authority.
budget.
So it's very, very important. But as you may have heard, this year, 2026, marks the 250th anniversary since the signing of the Declaration of Independence. And all across America, communities are celebrating the 200, and I know the real world, it's like sesquicentennial, but I'm just gonna say 250th anniversary of our nation's founding. And in Utah, there's some different funding available and some different programs that are happening. I think Sarah left.
Oh, she's
Sarah, who's out there from the chamber, is doing some things with the Springville Chamber, or Springville Mapleton Chamber of Commerce. And if we declare ourselves an America 250 community by passing a resolution, we get to be listed on the website with all the other great patriotic communities, and it opens up a small amount of grant funding. So that's really the urgency of why we're wanting to do it. But also I think it's something we are planning to be a part of. Stacy and her department, Patrick and the administration department, and the museum, and there might be other departments. Dan, you're probably planning things too. I think Dan, as usual, is so quiet and humble that I don't always know what's going on. I should have asked you. So, Dan, you're going to have to chime in, add in what the library is doing, because it's not in my PowerPoint. But lots of things happening. And I'm going to be quick, because this really doesn't need to be this long. At the museum, we're doing a big call for art for students to submit their art, and the call is due pretty soon on May 8th. So if you have students in Springville who want to tell art that tells their American story, we would love to have it. We're also featuring 6 pieces from our permanent collection that tell different American stories, including, John, hold it up, the Paul Revere by Cyrus Dallin. And we're gonna do a lot to celebrate Cyrus Dallin in that story this year because he's such an iconic American figure and sculpted so many iconic American stories. On July 2nd, make sure this is on your calendar, the Utah Symphony is going to be at Jolly's Ranch doing a huge patriotic performance as part of their America 250 tour. Stacy's also planning on integrating Americana themes throughout a lot of the programming of our city days. Patrick's working to put signs across all the parks and in different city properties to encourage people to participate in America's Potluck, which is a program of America 250, and it started right here in Utah. And there's gonna be a big, Stacy just verified, 15 by 25 foot flag here on the Civic Center. And Dan, did you want me to add what the library's working on?
Yeah, I mean, we're
Sorry to put you on the spot.
very good. We're doing just kind of beefing up our history collection of books. We're doing like a book club that's about American classic literature, and a bunch of programs. Of course, we got to do a lot of stuff that's geared towards youth. So we'll be doing like story times and other youth activities to kind of get them aware and excited about this celebration. Yeah.
So we're already being an America 250 community, and we just need it official. Part of it, so the 2 things we have to do, we have to pass a resolution, and then the second thing is create a committee, and we've talked to the mayor about making that a subcommittee of the PAR board, and we'll talk about that with them in a few weeks. So my recommended motion is to approve the resolution declaring Springville City an official America 250 community.
Great. Don't know why we'd ever have an opposition to that.
Ready for my motion?
I am.
I motion to approve resolution number 2026-12 to approve declaring Springville City an official America 250 community.
I'll second.
Second, a roll call vote. Mike?
Yes.
Logan?
Yes.
Karen?
Yes.
Mindy?
Yes.
Jake?
Yes.
Very good. This is exciting. All of these events are exciting, but we're particularly grateful for the Utah Symphony. So,
That will be amazing. That's really cool.
very good. Sarah, would you like to, we'll give you time to say a few words.
I'm Sarah Harvey. I live at the north end of Springville. My husband Brent was going to be the one speaking, but I guess I'm going to be the one speaking.
Well, you're a lot prettier than
What-
he is, so we prefer you.
We always look better as a couple, though. I might have him come up here and stand next to me. The reason that I'm coming tonight to speak is that we're having some exciting activity happening at the north end of Springville. And in the Planning Commission meeting last week, they were talking about 2 of the parcels getting amendments for the zoning. That would be north of McDonald's, and then the parcel that's kind of south and east of 7-Eleven. And with those, I feel like the amendment should be a little tighter to what Clyde, Springville Rising is proposing, because from what I understand, and I sure appreciate them making our city better, but this particular zoning, they're suggesting that the part up against the street next to 7-Eleven be like the south quarter, and they kept referring to it as the South Gateway Zone. And I would suggest we call it the Three Sisters up at that end of town, because when you look up at the mountain right there, that's where the Three Sisters are. So that's my suggestion. But so in that, you know, the zoning for that street, I think sounds awesome, but it needs to be specified more. We're not going to go 75 feet high and all that. And then behind 7-Eleven, if we could just have the wording very specific, like they were saying, we want more horizontal growth, and we live up there where we have the willows, and we also have, that's what they're called, the Art City Townhomes. So things like that. But the zoning, we feel, needs to be worded in such a way that it reflects what they're telling us they want.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Oh, we have one more?
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
So I was down at the intersection of 1400 North and Main Street about, I don't know, 10 days ago or something. And there was a bad accident there where a pickup truck hit a little Kia, and there was a person laying out on the road with the sheet over them. And, you know, we've seen a lot of bad accidents there. It'd be nice to have maybe a speed reduction, because they're coming in from Provo, coming down, you know, 50 miles an hour there. And I don't know if that's something you have any influence on, but that seems like a great suggestion to lower the speed limit of people coming through that intersection, so they're not just coming 50. And it seems to happen a lot there. So just my 2 cents on that.
Very good. Thank you very much. And that's, as we have these public meetings, I would just encourage you as neighbors to make your comments be a part of the record. You certainly have made it a part here, but as they do that, that's all part of it, because there's certainly going to be more traffic going along that road. So we just encourage you to be a part of the process. And Josh Yost and Troy Fitzgerald have been the point people with the Clay Company. So just to encourage you to do that, and we'll do the same thing. So thank you for doing that. Very good. And we don't know, I'm going to really get in trouble saying this, but we're not quite sure. The first report I had is there may have been a medical event with the driver that was there. So, and he hit the wife and daughter of the Mapleton mayor. So, yeah. Anyway, so, okay. Thank you very much. Very good. Okay, is there anything else that we need to go through?
Can I ask, what time was the Utah Symphony thing going to happen? Do you happen to know that?
It's going to be at 8 o'clock, and I will forward a flyer to all of you
Okay.
next week, so we'll have some more information on it.
Awesome. Thank you.
Tickets are free. You just have to actually sign up for those. So we'll get that on social media as well.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay, this is an opportunity for the council to make any reports on the PAR board, or utility board, or community board, kind of what's happening, just to bring all of us up to date on what's taking place. So
Some great movement on the community board with the general plan. You know, there's new members there. There's new members on the community board that have brought like an excitement to it. You know, and some of those community board members moved to the planning and zoning, which, you know, helps give them some understanding of what's going on. But there's a lot of excitement. What am I forgetting, Mindy, on that?
Oh, we have another meeting, April 30th, where we hope to finalize the community board's thoughts and opinions, and then we will submit it to the city council planning commission, then to be reviewed there, and then on to the city council.
do you think that the community board has felt like they've had enough time to be able to digest what's there? There's a lot there.
There is a lot there.
It's pretty short, and they've broken it up pretty well. Everybody, you know, chose a chapter and marked it up, and now we're going through it, talking about it, which is what the other meeting's going to be. But it's been short timeline for having had the community board for 4 years to talk about that, to then only have a couple months to actually go through it. It's short, but.
Okay, well, I'll tell you this, because Josh isn't here and Troy's not here, so I can say this. If you need a few weeks or whatever the case is, I would just encourage you to do that, because that's really where the wood gets chopped, is in that community board.
Excellent.
Okay?
Great, thank you.
Yep. Others? Our board, utility board?
Our board, we did some approving of where the funds will be going to The allocations were made at the last meeting, and we've added some new members. And that's what's been going on there.
Very good. Okay.
We haven't, the utility board hasn't met since our last council meeting. Trying to think of some of the things that are going on. You know, the solid waste district and the Southern Utah Valley Power Systems are both currently preparing their budgets for the year. No big surprises there. Trying to think of anything of note.
Okay, as you have had new members on the community board, PAR board, and utility board, I would just encourage you, I think Mike was very wise in doing this, sitting down and having an orientation of some kind. Sitting down and kind of getting, so that they're kind of hit the ground running, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And Emily has sent out an email that included us and the new members for the PAR board,
Yeah,
inviting them to do just that.
okay, very good. Yeah, that's important to kind of orient them. It helps. And then one other thing it would encourage you to do is to assign maybe a buddy member to where you say, okay, John, you're with Fred, and he's going to kind of help you with any questions, just procedurally. So, Mike, you had a comment?
No, I was just going to say, if Mindy and Karen want, I have a training presentation for the PAR board that we did when we initially set the board up. So if you want that, I can
That'd be
get
fantastic.
that out to you.
Yeah.
You can modify it however you want.
Sounds good. Thank you.
I just have one other thing, if I could, and I'm just throwing this out because a resident asked about it. If it was possible to get a streaming system in the multi-purpose room so that people could observe the meetings that go on in there, whether it's work session or the commission meetings, the board meetings, things like that. I don't know that we need to have a big discussion at this point. I'm just throwing it out as a possibility that maybe we can talk about later.
Kim, maybe you can make a note and I'll bring it up with Troy and we'll talk about it. If that's okay. Yep. Okay, very good. John?
Mayor, could we do a quick closed session? I kind of dropped the ball on talking to you. I'm used to Troy kind of communicating that to you, but we have two very quick property issues and one very quick litigation issue.
Okay. All right. Any other items that need to be brought up? Okay, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn to a closed session.
I'll make that motion
For property and
for property and litigation.
Yeah.
Second.
What,
Or can we
we usually
close?
close this meeting at the end of the closed session since it's part of the agenda. Yeah.
Okay, I have a motion. I need a second.
I seconded.
Roll call vote. Mindy?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Logan?
Yes.
Karen?
Yes.
Jake?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Thank you for being here. We appreciate it.